Yeah, welcome to Monday night Stunt Hangar Hangout. Let's see here. We got to go here. The link is in at the bench, posted. And then I got to go here, here, and then turn that on. And we got to have live chat there, customization, chat replay, save. All right, there we go. We're all set up and running. I need to, looks like we got Gary Sinclair come in. Let's see here. Go here. Go here. And we're going to we're going to make a post here, a poll. Participants' reactions. There's no place to make a poll. What's the deal? C plus. Let's try that. Start a poll. There we are. All right. The question is going to be, shall I bring back the Friday night hangout? Okay. Hey, Gary.
Hi. Well, it'd be up to you, I think, if you want to on this Friday night thing,
Yeah.
or wait till spring comes, or
Okay. So we'll start the poll. All right, everybody
mm,
vote in that. I think I can get a little help from some people on the Friday night deal. Let's see, we want to go here. All right, there we are. Oh, we need to see. I need to pop the chat out. Good evening, Jose. Pop out chat. Huh, I can't get the stupid thing to go away. There we go. Let's go here. All right, I can get the chat up now. So far, it's 100% yes. Oh, zero votes. That's why. Zero votes. All right, guys, if you're looking to come in, you got to go to the at the bench on Stunt Hangar, and the link and the passcode will be in the description. Do you have to use the passcode when you come in, Gary?
I don't, not anymore. I got me a new computer, so I don't have to do it. It
Oh,
just
okay.
pops up. I hit join the chat or join it, and I joined. Used to be I had to. I was going to find a password and then write it down and then go back and plug it in.
Your computer got smarter.
Yeah.
As soon as some people come in and start talking, I'm gonna go to work on this again, sanding out. Hey,
And
Wayne.
is there a 6,000 sanding paper?
Yeah,
Okay. But you don't go that far, right?
I go to 5,000 and then
Uh,
I use 7,500 and 10,000 compound.
okay.
I don't have any 5,000, so I'm just going up to 3,000 now on the first uh, rub out. I've done this side, so still working on the open bays. Open bays are real tough to do. It'll take me some time. If I could get away with spray shine, I wouldn't have all this problem, but I just can't bring myself to do it. This airplane ended up 62 ounces. That's respectable. I thought it was gonna be 64, but
We'll have to see on your first test flight, right? What happens?
yeah. Keep searching for the better and better airplanes. So far, my 57-ounce Junar is the best one.
Did you put ink line around your cockpit yet?
No, not yet. I'm
No,
gonna
not yet.
paint that on. That won't add any weight.
Looks nice.
Thank you.
Mhm. Hey,
I'm not.
Steve.
What's up,
Oh.
Gary? How you doing?
Okay. Did you take the poll?
Did I take the poll?
Uh-huh. When you
I
opened that
don't know what you're
your
talking
you
about.
on your YouTube, there's a question about. So,
Oh, I don't have YouTube open.
um,
What does the question ask if we like your new haircut?
yeah, do you like the new haircut? No.
Everybody's
So,
got the same haircut. No, Steve's got long hair.
yeah. See, yours is growing back, Steve.
I'll grow a little bit still. I gotta catch this and mute it before it. What the heck? I'll grow a little bit still.
Okay. I wonder if Steve's gonna come in tonight. The other Steve.
Yeah, I wonder if he's gonna answer John Mull's email.
What's the email about?
I think just with the weather forecast and all that, should they just cancel that contest this weekend now? So you can tell John apparently has a couple guys coming to town to fly speed. I presume he'd like to give them as much advance notice that it ain't gonna work out. If we
It's
get
gonna
the
be
snow
cold.
that they're calling for, well, the temperature isn't the issue. If we get the snow that they're calling for,
When are
and
they?
that nobody's gonna get out there and shovel the square
Hey,
pad to fly.
Yeah.
Well, that's the thing about it. If we get all the crap we're supposed to get, I'll be wishing I'd bought that snow blower that my buddy had in the back of his truck when he got down here and decided that this is where he needed to be, because guy asked him in the service station, "What the heck is that thing?" He said, when they didn't know what a snow blower was, I knew I was home. And he, sure
Yeah.
enough, settled down in Kernersville and still lives there. But how much are you supposed to get, Steve? We're supposed to get 5 inches.
I'm terrible for watching the forecast. I think it's forecast 3 to 7, 4 to 8,
Yeah,
1 to
I've
3.
heard the
It's all
same
over the
thing.
place.
I've heard the same thing, but the only one that's really seemed to stick was 5. I always hear
see.
5, and then I hear 5, 7, whatever. Could get a 100-year blizzard, or whatever. You could do a lot of things, but whatever. I just hope it's not too big a mess.
I haven't heard
Yeah,
yet.
I don't know. I got a snow blower, so I don't mind. Snow blower and 4-wheel drive. So
Well, I don't have a snowblower,
Yard,
but I
I
got
have to
4-wheel
blow
drive.
any snow.
Gary, you live in Minnesota, don't you? Crying out loud, man, you ain't got to worry about it.
Minnesota. I live in
No, where you
Ohio.
live?
Ohio.
Ohio. Okay.
Yeah,
Well, that's
we
about
just
the
had
same thing.
last night. We
Ohio's
had night before last. We had thunderstorms and it rained and
Yeah, we had thunderstorms last night.
you guys,
But they had I was in
you guys
Ohio
all
one
have
time, and
good.
it snowed like all crap, and I'm in the hotel room thinking, well, I'm gonna get sleep in the morning. I woke up 7:30 and the roads were clear. I said, oh crap, I gotta get up, get my suit on, I gotta go to work. Go install a piece of equipment. And then catch an airplane that afternoon, which meant I have to pack everything up and take it with me. Leave the customer's office, then run to the airport and go somewhere else. I don't remember, but they had me going from north to south so many times. It was no real surprise I came down with bronchitis. I was going from freezing to death to Florida, southern Florida, and it was ridiculous. I don't miss those days. I enjoyed that job, but I don't miss those days. Lordy. Well, what are you going to do? You going to sit there? He's just standing here on my lap. I don't know what he's doing. Crazy puppy.
Everybody's got TNT tuned in the background, right?
No,
no,
USA against Sweden.
no.
No, not tonight. I've had enough sports for a while. I've gotten bombed on the last 2 I bet on. I'm not touching it anymore.
Did you happen to watch the USA Canada hockey game?
I saw a little bit of that. That was cool. They booed the dickens out of the USA, and then the US beat them 3-2.
I thought they fought like 3 times in the first 10 seconds.
Yeah,
Yeah.
3 fights in the
I
first
think
minute.
they ought to start doing. They ought to do that at control line contest. You don't like your score, you just throw your gloves down at the judge's feet and
I'm too old for that crap.
5-minute penalty.
I used to kickbox and all that junk, but I'm gonna tell you what, you get near 70, that stuff hurts, and it hurts for days. Whew.
Well, flying
Some of
season's
these
coming.
judges are young fellas and in pretty good shape. Ah, Lordy.
Gary, did you see that special event they're planning up there at Brodex?
No, what
Yeah.
are they planning?
It's the senior challenge or something. You got to be 75. No
I
event.
Here's pattern.
No event. What is it? Nothing above 60 degrees or something like that.
It's the geezer pattern.
Yeah.
Well, I'm not 75 yet, but I'll start practicing now. Maybe in 5 years, maybe I can compete in that.
I will, Pete. Thanks for sending it to me. I see that I got a notice that it'll be here sometime next month. The 28th. They're bringing it on Pack Mule.
I think that's the way America runs now. Pack mules or something slow.
Is anybody else getting some weird audio stuttering every once in a while, or is that just me?
Yeah. I don't know what it
You-
is. Probably the wet, probably all the wind in between us.
I just wasn't sure if it was my connection or maybe it's just something going on with Zoom. It's not regular, just every once in a while when somebody talks,
Yeah.
something will kind of just a little bit.
Mm-hmm. My dinner is liable to show up here in the next few minutes, but I'm betting about an hour.
Here, if
I
you
don't
hang
know why
on,
she's
Gary,
taking so long, but anyway.
I'll read you a description of that event.
Is that going to happen this year?
Yeah, it sounds like it.
I'll get in touch with Dennis and see what it is, because I know Dennis was one of the ones that was pushing for it in the first place.
Yeah, well, it sounds like I don't know any of these people, but John Brodak's wife.
Buzz.
Yeah.
Okay, she asked about it as the story he relays. She asks about it at the end of the event last year.
Ah.
He says, the aero modeling hobby attracts and appeals to enthusiasts of any age. This is Denny writing this. Often very young, continuing over many decades. It offers challenges at each stage with many adjusting their interests according to their age and physical acumen. Last year at the closing of the 2024 Brodak Fly-In, our hostess Buzz Brodak requested a new event, one celebrating our older participants and legends. The goal being to recognize and celebrate those who continue to participate well into their golden years and or those dealing with physical limitations. The event is open to older flyers. It will be midday Friday of Brodak Week. Flyers age 75 and older's entrance will be carded. Also open to flyers of any age with physical limitations that include standing and flying vertical or overhead maneuvers. Flyers will be allowed to use a pivoting chair or wheelchair if they choose. This is an aerobatic event. The flight pattern is a variation of the AMA stunt pattern, minus vertical and overhead maneuvers, and with a few more maneuvers substituted in. No vertical or overhead maneuvers, normal level flight and maneuver bottoms at 4 to 6 feet, maneuver top height at 60-degree elevation, no restriction on airplane or power system, no builder of the model or appearance points. The sequence is takeoff and level flight, top hat, inside round loops, inverted flight, outside round loops, inside square loops, outside square loops, inside triangles, outside triangles point down, horizontal round 8, horizontal square 8, bow tie, landing, and there's a spot landing bonus. And apparently later in the thread, the clarification was the spot is bet where you took off from somehow. Attempting, I guess it would involve whipping the airplane or something to maneuver it.
I got to get
stop it.
Tom Looper to go up there. He not only qualifies, but he can stop the airplane where he took off so regularly that it's
The guys,
ridiculous.
the guys I watched, I mean, Sparky and Mark Hughes and Dan, and I don't know that I see Steve do it that much, but those guys all, you get up to go walk and get their airplane and the thing just keeps flying and flying and flying. And pretty soon you don't have to walk. It's just right at your feet.
Mm-hmm. That's the way Luke does.
Sometimes it seems like they've done it a time or two, you know?
Oh,
No, Sparky don't fly. He just comes out to the field and watches. He just brings a pretty
iPad.
airplane out there for us to see and get jealous of.
I've seen him fly.
How you doing, iPad?
I've seen him fly too, ornery old buzzard.
I say, let him have a good time. Go for it. It's awesome.
Sounds good to me.
Darn right. Look, I remember Lou Woolard being at Brodak's. He launched Bob Brookins and he couldn't get up, so he just rolled off the circle till he could stand up and get off the circle, dude. Hey,
remember
them my
that.
heroes right there. They're still flying
I
at
mean
90
that.
freaking years old. Hey, have a
I
nice
tell you
day.
what. I tell you what. If I were still, if I go back and fly 40s, you know, IC motors. I've got 4 or 5 Lou Willard Fox 40s, and that's what'll be in it because you just can't beat a Lou Willard motor.
I love Lou Willard, dude. He's my hero.
I did too. Mine too. He was a great guy.
He was. I can tell you exactly when I met him. Back in 2004, they had a collecto in Tulsa. D. Hill was involved, and Lou Ward, a whole bunch of them. Had a big old collector. Lou was down, and Jim Lee. Man, it's a big deal. There was, 20 people selling stuff. And finally, I got to Lou and met him. Well, I didn't know nothing but Fox 35 is all I knew about then. And I said, I need a Fox 35 you build. I hear they're really good. I ain't got one. I said, well, dang it. He said, I'll build you one and send it to you. I said, how much is it? He told me not paid him. And he built one and sent it to me. And I could go out there in the garage and dig it out and find it for you, dude. I still got it.
Yeah. I've still got one. Well, I say 1 or 2 or 3 Fox 35s. It's been Lou massaged, at least a couple of them. And they run great.
thing I like about watching Lou Willard is when he brought his granddaughters out and he would jump around like a little kid with them.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
I never
Lou,
saw Lou fly. He had an airplane called an Eindecker. You might have seen that before, Phil. I never saw that airplane. But he and another guy I went brain dead, from Wichita flew them together. And they flew formations with them and did stunt shows and stuff. It was
I heard
pretty
about
cool.
it. I never saw it.
I never saw it, but I've heard about it. I can't think of that guy's name. He's passed away too. Man, we got to get off this passing away stuff. Let's talk about
that. Too many of them.
Yeah.
Well, I tell you what. I gotta get I just want to get out there and fly some more. Man, I'm tired of this weather. Jeez, whiskers. That fall summer we had there, it was warm enough to go fly, but the wind howled every day.
I haven't flown in 2 weeks.
Oh, phooey on you. I ain't flown in 2 months.
Oh, we went 4 days 1 week, 2 weeks ago, but we ain't flown in 2 weeks. I've been flying indoor rubber, went all day today and flew indoor rubber band. It was so much fun.
I bet it was.
I had a good time. It was warm in there. That dumb airplane flew around and around and around. Made 4 laps one time before it landed. I thought, man, I'm doing something right here.
Where did it land? On the wing of the Chipmunk?
No, I said that we said a church auditorium.
Oh, that's cool.
Bob Hanford was there, and Tim and I. And Hanford had a little old airplane that was clear colored. And it flew 2 minutes and 46 seconds and bounced off the ceiling and fell down and bounced off the ceiling and fell down and still flew 2 minutes and 40. I said, I am not qualified to fly that, but I want one of those airplanes. He's got certain rubber he puts on it and the length and the diameter to make it.
There are guys who really know. I mean, there's a guy that comes to some of the free flight contests here. He's from Virginia, and I cannot think of his name. He walks so slow and he talks so slow. You'd never think that he was really knowledgeable about anything special until you get to know him a little bit. But he'll go to a contest and he'll open this thing and he'll look at the barometer, the air density, and all this, looks at all this crap, and then he closes that thing up, puts it back in the trunk. And then he starts looking through his trunk. I thought, what the heck is he looking for? And he'll pull out this special little jar of rubber. He takes out a strand of rubber and he measures it to length. And then he brings this gizmo out and he cuts it the full length of the thing now, slices it to the thickness it needs to be for that airplane. And then he puts the rest of it back in that container and closes it up, puts it away like it's gold, which to him it is.
It is.
And he puts this thing, makes up this rubber band, and everybody else is flying 3 or 4 flights, and he's still over here fiddling, getting ready. And he goes over here and hooks this thing up and puts it on, and goes over here and starts winding. And he winds this thing up and he gets it and puts it in his airplane, goes out the circle when it's his turn and launches it, and just goes back and sits down.
Don't even look at the airplane. Just go back and sit down.
Yeah. The plane goes up and flies, and he's over there talking and talking. He looks at his watch. He sees it's about time the thing should be winding down, and he looks up to find his airplane, and it's coming right back to where he landed or where he took off from.
It's the most amazing thing I ever seen in my life.
It's the craziest thing.
He knows. Bob's got his figured out. Where if you got a 20-foot ceiling, he's got a 20-foot bag of rubber. If you got a 25-foot rubber ceiling, he got a 25. He's got it figured out, dude. I mean, he pulls the right motor out. If I told you he had 10 motors for each airplane, that may not be an exaggeration. And he knows what rubber it takes and how many ounces of torque to put on it and all that. And it just goes, it flies. It's like God's making this fly. It's so pretty, Phil. Nobody can make it do that. It's impossible to fly like that.
I always wondered how in the world these guys, grown men, I don't mean kids, I mean grown men, got these big boxes that they carry in the back of their car, and they open them up, and all it's got in it is some stick airplanes and monofilm airplanes, and these little airplanes look like you could sneeze and destroy them.
You could.
Yeah.
And they go out and put these things together, and it takes them a half an hour to put one together because they're so delicate. And then they go out and wind it up, and they go out and let go of the propeller, and the propeller goes.
Well, it's a little faster than that, but not much.
Not much. But the plane flies 2 and 3 minutes around this,
It's just magnificent. What the heck? It is magnificent, Phil Bailey. It really is.
I want to go. I've never been, but I want to go to the Free Flight Nationals, especially the indoor nationals. And I'm going to try to do that thing this year. I don't know if I'll make it because I've got an Alaska cruise.
Bob Hanford. Plan. You can look up Bob Hanford on there. I bet he's on there. He is something, dude. He's got stuff. It's just like, oh my word, how can it do that? I mean, it's like, oh my gosh, it's incredible.
But I just interject one thing about this. I just sent you guys a link. It's called Float. It's a documentary. It's all about the F1D World Championships. I forget what year it was.
Yes.
But it was, I found it for free back in the day. I think you got to rent it now, but it's worth the $12. The guy wants to watch it. It's a few hours long, and it goes through following a few members of the U.S. team as they're getting ready and about some of the international personnel. It's very interesting. I think you guys
agree.
It all.
It's incredible. I mean, it's a different
I might have to watch it, Steve. Thank you.
It's a different art than control line stunt, but it is an art. I promise you, it's an art.
I'm telling you.
Holy cow, it's beautiful.
There's a guy. It's a shame.
The props turning the airplanes quivering. They can't balance the prop. They quiver, and they just climb and quiver. I said it's making more lift because it's quivering. It's got to be.
Yeah. There's a guy that comes to Ed Waskey's show in West Virginia, and he's like, he'll walk out in the middle of the room, and he gets down on one knee, and he launches this little plane, and he goes back and sits down and just watches his watch. And then he gets up and walks out the center of the room, and the thing lands at his feet. What? Oh, shoot. Thing lands at his feet, and he just picks it up and walks back. And he does this time and time again.
It's
with
beautiful,
2 or 3 different airplanes. It really is. When I get to where I can't spin around fly stunt, I may sell my stunt stuff, but I'm gonna hang on to my balsa because I'm gonna learn how to do that. Lord willing, I'm gonna learn how to do that.
It's marvelous.
It just fascinates the heck out of me. I need to talk into going.
Start looking for the special made May of 1999 rubber. Then, if you're going to get into that,
There's better rubber than others too. That's right. He's right on that.
It is. It's May of 1999. You can read about it on the NFSS website, National Free Flight Society. They have some way of measuring how much energy rubber will store. And that batch, it was made somewhere in the USA in May of 1999. And to this day, they've never made better rubber. And there are guys who have bags of this rubber that they've hoarded, and it trades hands. It's like trading gold coins, thousands of dollars. In the dark.
Don't ever let sunlight hit it. Sunlight can't.
In a safe, and there's something in that video I sent you about it too. There's some guy in Eastern Europe who's kind of cornered the supply of it. He's hoarded a bunch of it.
I know they keep it. I know they keep it in little cardboard tubes that about 6-inch cardboard tubes, got a cardboard top and bottom, but when he gets it out, he's up in the back of the trunk. I mean, he parks with the car with the sun over there. He even parks his car with the idea of keeping the trunk shaded in the darks so that when he opens it, it don't get any direct sunlight. and he'll make it up over here in the it's not really dark, but no direct sunlight. The only time that rubber is ever exposed to sunlight is when it's on the bottom of that airplane, if it's one of the stick planes. But if it's one of the cabin planes, it never is, because he comes over and winds it right there at the back of his car and then puts it in there and takes it out and flies it.
It's really
incredible.
cool. It's really, really.
Like
I
a
mean, I'm
black
not
art or
a
something,
good
but
enough builder to even think about building that stuff.
You know,
a few years ago,
Dan McEntee's son, I think, is a pretty serious free fighter. I've
He
heard him
shoots a
talk.
lot of catapult stuff too.
Okay.
Sean does a lot of catapult launching, and there's an art to that too.
yeah. Well, a few years ago, I went down to Tifton, Georgia, to the RC sale, and there back then they had the third building back there was the Free Flight Society put on a show every day, and it was supposed to be just a couple hours, but those guys would come in and practice in the morning, and then they'd practice in the evening. They flew free flight all day long. I went in there. I went to the show on Friday and bought what I was going to buy, but I wanted to go back and try to pick some more stuff on Saturday. But I made a mistake. I went in the third building and sat down. And by the time I realized what was going on, I knew I was getting hungry. I finally looked at my watch, and it's 20 minutes till the place closes. I had sit there and watched free flight all day long. But there's a cat with a little what's that plane looks like a barrel? Oh, dang.
There's a Caparoni that looks like a barrel.
No, it's a race plane, red and white.
Oh,
GB?
GB.
GBR1. There we go. Guy comes out with a GBR1 about this big, and he walks out in the middle of the room, and he just walks out and tosses it and turns around, goes back and sits down, and he just watches this thing fly. Well, it was cool. It flew for about a minute and a half and landed. It wasn't anywhere near a record. He said, "No, still not good. I got to do something else." And he went over and gets him a cup of hot coffee and steams the elevator over the hot coffee. Anyhow, so he's ready to go fly. He's going to fly it again in a few minutes. So he comes out in the middle of the room, and I think he's got the same airplane because it looks exactly the same, except he walks out and he goes, and the thing flies backwards. It's a different airplane, but it was a GBR1 and it flew backwards, and it flew just about as long as the other one
I'll
did.
be darned.
And landed, and man, I was hooked. I've got the plans to it in the other room. It was just cool. I've never built one, but I'm going to. I've held on to the plans for the last 10 years. I'm going to. And I'm going back down there, Lord willing, here in another 2 weeks. That show's coming up in 2 weeks. You're close. Well, I don't know if you're close enough to go or not. Tifton, Georgia?
It's a long way from me. I'm not going to Georgia.
Well, it's a good ride for you, but you're a good ride for me is the reason I haven't aggravated you at your contest.
Now, that's
Man,
not microfilm you're talking about, is it?
Some of them
Microfilm
were,
planes,
but
are they?
The
that
ones
plane
I saw
wasn't.
today wasn't. They get
No,
no.
the microfilm planes are the ones I saw about. You look like you could sneeze and destroy them.
You could.
Yeah,
You can tell if they walk fast, it's not a microfilm. When they got to walk
The
slow.
one that the
with those.
propeller
They can't
does
even
like
walk.
this.
Yeah, you can't
That's
even walk
microfilm.
with those. They just,
No.
How they pour that
But the
stuff?
guys get under them and flap their jackets or something,
make it
and
go.
make it go up. It's wild. It's just wicked to watch.
That
coolest
video
things.
that Steve sent is gonna. If you watch that, you're gonna see the best in the world right there. I think
Literally.
I'm
that's
going to
the
watch
best
it.
in the world.
I'm going to try to watch it because I enjoy that kind of. I'm learning
Sparky,
to enjoy that kind of stuff.
Sparky's buffing an airplane with the drill motor. Holy mackerel! See, if
Well,
I
I
did that,
bought
it'd catch the flap and rip the flap off. What would happen?
I bought a buffer last year that Jim suggested. He showed it, and I bought one. It's a Gracious. Works great. I buffed somebody else's airplane, made it look so good. I was kind of jealous. It wasn't my airplane.
How cold is it at your house tonight, Stuart?
I'm not sure.
Zero?
I think it was around 11. Was it 11?
11?
That's Celsius.
Yes, that
Mine-
means it's
Celsius.
zero. That
Oh,
means
you
it's
can have
zero.
that.
That's
So
zero.
Celsius would be
It's
after.
cool
Would be
this
back.
morning, but it warmed up a bit.
Warmed up.
Go.
You ought to be cold in St. Louis too, y'all.
Yeah, it's
It
chilly.
will be
20 degrees.
20
Hey,
now,
guys,
but
still?
it's gonna get down to
It is
zero.
Buffer.
it is, it's made by Snap-on. It is a professional body tool.
Cool. They're talking
Supposed to
-3 here, I think, Thursday morning, 0.
You have to have a professional
Wednesday.
body to use it.
No,
Yeah, yeah, it's gonna
I know
start
one thing.
snowing
I
here
saw.
at 10 o'clock.
I
is that
found some
ready?
stuff
Airplane
called-
ready to fly, Sparky?
What, this one?
Is your airplane ready to fly? Looks like it is.
He
Just gotta
flew
wrap,
today, I think.
I just gotta wrap the lines, the lead
Okay.
out.
Did
You
see
got
John
3
Wall's
days before
email,
you're gonna
Steve?
do that probably. It's
Yeah,
gonna be cold.
it ended up weighing 62 ounces.
Well, that's
That'd be
good.
all right. Bring it to Tulsa. I'll fly it, trim it out for you. I'd like to fly that. 62 ounces ought to be a killer weight, that big airplane.
I hope he's got it trimmed out before Tulsa.
Yeah.
Put the CG at about 26% at the root and have a nice day.
We
Maybe-
lost Jim
I didn't
Hoffman.
put X.
He was here for a minute and then he's gone.
Yeah,
I'll let you fly it.
That's who it was. It was Jim Hoffman told me about that buffer. That's who it was.
Nice looking airplane, Robert.
Thank you. You hear me? You can fly it at Brodax.
Okay. Have it trimmed up.
That'll be the first chance I get to see you in the season.
We no, we haven't made reservations. We called up there and they don't have a Brodac discount yet, so we're waiting on that probably. You
Well,
gonna you gonna get a hotel? We looked and looked and looked for Airbnbs, and there's just nothing up there that's worthy of what money they want for it.
Mm,
I'll probably end up staying in that hotel. We always stay in Union.
Yeah, we're gonna go to Holiday Inn Express, I think. We looked
That's
at it,
where
it was
we're headed.
117 right now, unless Brodax can get a little cheaper. We'll see. I'm
That's
going
where
to
planning
Brodax.
go.
If they're having it, I'm going. If I don't even fly, I'm going.
That's kind of the
Just
way
to-
I feel about it. Of
just
course,
to
I've done
feel
that
everybody.
twice. I tell you what, you could have knocked me over with a feather last year when Buzz Brodak told that joke. You know the one I'm talking about.
Mm-hmm.
Let me get my jacket. Man, I'm telling you.
She's a
Wow.
mess.
She is a mess. I think the world of that woman. She needs help. Somebody let me know and we'll go try to help her. Do what we can anyway.
I think she's got fantastic people working for her too.
She does. She does. She's got some good people.
I'm gonna
But I
put
really-
a plug in. If you haven't been to Brodax, I'll make you a deal. You go, and if you don't think it's worth what you spent, I'll give your money back to you.
Yeah.
I'll make you a deal.
Yeah.
My
That's-
goodness.
You know, I always thought that contest made money or at least paid for itself.
I doubt it.
It doesn't. Not anywhere close. I
Not
was
when-
talking to
That's for a hot dog.
Will, and he looked at me. He says, "I thought you smarter than that." He says, "Lord, no, that thing don't begin to pay for itself.
They got
He
too much
says-
hired help.
They do." He says, "All those people you see running around there, those are full-time employees, and they are on the clock."
And they're not doing their regular job.
No, so they are still getting paid full-time wages to
That
sit
fat
out there and.
lawnmower man is there at 5:30 in the morning.
Who is
Yeah.
Robert?
The fat lawnmower guy,
Yeah.
5:30 in the morning, he's out there running that mower.
Are you serious?
Yeah,
Woke
yeah,
you up then, didn't he?
yes.
Oh my goodness. I don't know about you, but that's the finest hobby shop I ever set my foot in.
Man, you don't think so?
No,
You've
I
been to
can't go
better
that
ones?
far.
Oh yeah, the one
Yeah,
that closed across the street from the Air Force Museum, way better.
I never been to that one.
It was
It's the best one I ever was in.
radical.
I never found that one.
How many, if I ask you how many kits are in the Brodax hobby shop, what would be your guess?
500 probably.
I would think I was going to say 500 or more. Kits, just kits.
Yeah.
There's five. I've never seen 500 kits at a hobby stop anywhere in the world.
I got one for you. How many kits you reckon are in the museum? I think you could add a 0 or 2 to the
I
back
think
of that.
there's thousands to be the right answer.
Yeah, because the
Thousands
walls are just covered with them.
covered.
I
With
mean,
oh my
that's-
gosh!
God, what a bunch of kits!
Now tell us how
I've
many
seen.
you
I
got-
saw kits
guys
in
got
that
in your
hobby
basement.
shop. Do what?
How many do you guys got in your basement? That's the big question.
30.
I've only
36.
got about 20 kits, probably.
Only.
I have
36 kits. I counted them the other day.
I haven't counted mine.
That's
I got,
control line. You got to add to that a little bit because I've still got a few.
I thought you were talking
RC kits
airplanes,
down there.
not kits. How many airplanes you got?
I got
Oh,
three.
I
Oh,
know.
That would've
I
been the
got
next
3
one.
real ones.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I got 36 hanging by the lead outs. I counted them day before yesterday. 36
Good
hanging
grief.
by the lead outs, ready to fly.
Good
The
gracious! I ain't got
grandkids
nowhere
are
near-
fixing to fly, so I think there'll be a inventory reduction system pretty soon. I built them 5 airplanes this fall.
Lord, I don't have near that many, and I don't think I ever will because when I build a new one, there's always somebody that needs one.
Well, I've
You
given
know,
them away, but they just don't. They never bring them back out and fly them, so I quit giving them away.
well, now I've had that problem too. A couple of them took them and
Never
I
come
sold
back out.
I sold a couple because I thought they were going to fly them, and they ended up one of them's hanging over the cash register in a restaurant in Greensboro, and the other one is hanging on the wall behind the cash register in Greensboro. That's just it's a
All my
mosquito and
stuff.
a
All my stuff
Mosquito
wore
and a
out
Mustang.
anyhow. I fly the heck out of it.
that darn mosquito. I really thought that was going to be a good flying airplane, but Bob Hunt is right. When you go building a twin, if you don't get those nacelles exactly lined up, you're in for a world of hurt.
I'm not sure I'm good enough. If
Well,
I was going
I
to
know
go
how to
like
do it. I know how to do it now because Bob told me. I mean, he said something on here one night, and I called him and we talked for a long time about it. I don't know how long.
you got to build good jigs. If I
You
was
got
going
to.
to fly
That's the
electric,
thing.
I just call Bobby and get me an Airbnb and drive up there and get Airbnb for a month, and we'll build an airplane on his bench. That
Amanda's
would be
got
right
3
when you got
airplanes
done.
and you're going to drive up?
Well, how you going to get it home? You can't put an airplane in a 172 or 182 or a Baron. They won't fit. You have to have a freaking airliner to haul a stunt ship home. They're big.
pretty hard to get
Really?
any RD1 or your chip.
Yeah, you ain't gonna get a ringmaster in an RV9, are you, Sparky?
No,
No,
combat.
no, that's a tight little airplane.
They're tight. But no,
But boy, they're fun to fly.
Bobby Hunt, that Frank McMillan had a Hunt designed twin with the Will Hubin system in it and retracts. And he whooped
I
us
saw
all
it
at
blue and
Houston
white,
one time.
blue and
dude.
silver. Yeah.
And that airplane flew. It had the sharp turn even, man. I thought, holy mackerel. I'd like to have flown that airplane just to see if it was really good as it looked. There's
Well, that
something
thing let
magical
out
about a twin.
That thing let out a sound at the end of one of the flights. One of the inboard engine, the propeller was whatever you call it, was slipping on the motor shaft, and it let out a squeal, a sound that it was just eerie. And he landed the thing and they poured over that airplane. And finally, one of the guys took the spinner off and put a wrench on that prop. Oh, I think I just found the problem. Tightened it down. It didn't do it again. But that plane, I don't know what Bobby called that plane. I don't know what Frank ended up calling it. That was an interesting airplane. It looked good. It sounded good. Well, they both disappeared, but I was going to ask him, when's he going to build a twin with retracts? He's at by George. He's the guy that ought to be able to have a twin with retracts. There's Ed.
Yeah,
Good to see
man.
you.
Yeah.
Oh man,
How you
what
guys
is-
doing?
Doing great. What's behind you? Bell X1?
Yeah, little bit of announcement.
That is sharp.
Yeah, Victoria Yeager is going to support and come to the Carl Hopkins Expo this year.
Cool deal.
Yep. And
I'll
that's
have to hurry up and finish my old timer that looks like the Bell X1.
yeah. So I got that confirmed about a week ago, and I've held off on making flyers and all that stuff because we tried to get it locked down. So it's nice to have somebody like that for year 5 anniversary.
Yeah. Chuck passed away, didn't he? I forgot about
Yeah.
that.
Yeah. Well, I think
Darn.
2022, 2023. But she
Something
goes
like
all
that.
over the world, talking and stories and stuff. So, Phil, I'm looking at having something special for us. You
Okay.
know, how we have the Friday night dinner.
Yeah.
I'm looking at trying to do something with her, but then a little bit bigger crowd of a lot of the people that help out, like the mayor and the people from the universities and stuff that are all big supporters.
More the merrier. It'd be a good show.
It'd be like a 40, 50 person group like us having dinner with her, and that's what
That'd
I'm
be
working
cool.
on. Yeah.
That'd be cool. I'd like to meet her.
Yeah.
I've heard a lot about her. She's a sweet lady, and I'd love to meet her. I met her husband several times, and he came to Winston-Salem Air Show one time. And he didn't own the plane, but the Glamorous Glennis was here. The guy that owned Glamorous Glennis brought it here, and he got to fly it. And it was just amazing to see Chuck Yeager in a P-51
Yeah.
and take off and fly that thing. It was just.
Yeah. Well,
But if that didn't make you weak in the knees, you just don't like airplanes.
when I was at the embassy in Pakistan, I missed him when he was in on a visit, and that he was with the office that I was with, I guess a year or two before I got there. So he'd come over hunting in Pakistan and stuff. So we had some pretty good stories, Victoria and I talking about it and
That's
stuff.
cool.
Yeah.
That's cool.
So
That's
I'm trying to work up a flyer for my buddy. He's going to make up a flyer and, get it promoted and stuff. So,
Well, let us
you were
know
talking
when
about,
we plan to be there.
yeah, you were talking, I had you on, I just couldn't get to it until a little bit ago, but you were talking about Doug Griggs that comes over from
Doug
Maryland
Griggs,
to help out.
Yeah, he's
He's
amazing.
retired now and moving to Massachusetts, but he's still coming for the event.
Good deal.
Yeah.
I had such a good time with him and learned so much.
Oh my God.
He's just a wealth of knowledge. He can teach you guys. He can teach you more about free flight in 10 minutes than I had learned in my life.
Yep.
I mean, I thought, you trim a right yaw with aileron. Not always.
No. That
Well, I
prop
didn't know.
leads it around by the nose, baby.
Well, anyway, he
So
taught
they're
me.
trying to get it to go in a circle. So
That
schooled
nose
me.
is a secret.
He schooled me, and I'm telling you what, I came home and he gave me a kit. I mean, he made it up right there and then gave me a kit. Now I come home, put that thing together. All I can tell you is fly it indoors. Don't fly it outdoors because I got it back, but it goes a long way. I thought it was going to stay in my backyard, and it's a good thing there's a big field behind me. And it's a darn good thing because it went way away. Wind got him, it took off.
well, RC planes are heavier, easier to trim. You get into control line, they're a little bit lighter, starts getting difficult. You get into free flight, they're really light.
Yeah.
So
really difficult.
very,
but they're a
very
lot of fun.
minor trim are needed.
But he blew my mind when he's trimming that kid's airplane. He got a cup of hot coffee. And he said, I'll be right with you. And he got a cup of hot coffee, went over and set it down. Now, it's got cream and sugar in it. It's ready to drink. And he's taking the kid's airplane and trimming it, steaming the wing. Hey, that's sharp, whatever that is. Looks like that's a Crossfire.
Think so too.
That looks familiar.
Is that yours, Steve?
Yeah,
Looks good. Looks
coming
good.
along.
That's
Steve, you've been
bad.
doing all that sanding?
Unfortunately, yeah.
Looks
Not
nice.
nearly as much as Bob does, but
Do you
Man.
wet sand it?
no, not yet. No, I haven't even gotten to that wonderful task yet.
Man, I hate sanding dry. I hate it.
Yeah,
I don't even do it if
I don't
help
do
it.
any dry sanding.
yeah.
How do you
Not
I
of
know?
agree.
paint anyway. Not of paint anyway. I do balsa, but not paint.
Do you wet sand your
Balsa's
bare
bad
balsa,
enough.
Joe?
No, I don't never do wet balsa. Balsa gets 20 coats of dope, and then I start worrying about sanding.
Hmm.
Yeah.
I don't know what Sparky had in mind, but he has that airplane and a bandsaw in the picture.
That's interesting.
Well, you got to understand
Looking for
Sparky. If
Steve.
that thing weighs,
No,
if that thing
the
weighs
wings
2
are too
ounces
big.
more,
He's going to cut it down.
he's gonna lighten it up somehow. That's what he's gonna do.
if he thinks it weighs 2 ounces too much, he's gonna cut some off and lighten
Cut
it
the
up.
wings off of it. It's too heavy. Oh my goodness, that's terrible.
Actually, we did
Jim
weigh it
Hoffman's bad.
today. What was it, Bob?
This airplane's gonna end up 62, or, but
And
No.
Steve's is gonna be 52,
Yeah.
right?
probably.
The other one, the one that's not painted yet.
No, Steve's airplane is
Yes,
gonna weigh about 60 ounces.
that's pretty light, y'all.
That's a good weight.
Yeah.
And it's relatively straight except for one flap.
So is it a
Mm.
640-inch wing?
Whatever Hunt's Crossfire is.
I don't know those airplanes.
Well, I gotta tell you this, that airplane, this airplane, and the Carumba are the same airplane.
Same airplane. Well, you had a Crossfire at Brodax
Yeah,
8 years ago, Robert. How long ago was that? Electric airplane.
17.
17. I wasn't that impressed with that airplane.
Yeah,
Was you?
no.
What you think was wrong with it?
The same wing.
It's the same wing, but that doesn't mean it's different numbers. What do I think is wrong with it?
Yes. The what?
It was an electric, the power plant.
Ah,
He
The
used to
power
run
plant-
away on them all the time.
Go to the worlds and all but 4 airplanes there are electric. The electric has come a long way, but
oh, son. And not all them's created equal either.
no, they're not. But you get a BA 3515 and you're in the house.
Yeah, that won't fit.
I'm not qualified to tell you.
What do you mean
nothing.
it won't fit?
The front end of that I built from the plan, according to the plan, too narrow for a 35 millimeter motor. Tried it. I got one.
I
Got
have to see what I did wrong because it fits in mine.
Like there might have been a redraw of the plans too, but it was exactly off the plans.
Yeah.
I'm not.
You didn't put those plans through the dryer and shrink them, did you?
No, mine was come to think of it, I didn't build that fuselage. Tom Morris built my fuselage. So it's probably been stretched to fit the 3515.
Well, I think,
He built one of them. I built the other one.
and I think that's part of the problem. We used the molded fuselage sides with an 1 3/4 spinner, and the firewall is only, it's very narrow. We used
Mhm.
one of Bob Hunt's, whatever that board is,
Phenolic.
type board, firewalls. It's just not there.
The lack of giddy up.
Well, no, I mean, my Crossfire, I felt, it had that brick in the nose, that 10-ounce battery. I mean, that's a hindrance as far as I'm concerned. It never changes the CG, and every electric I've ever seen hunts.
I've never flown one that didn't, Robert Story. Never.
I built five purpose-built electric airplanes. They all hunted.
My rebuilt Vector doesn't hunt.
I don't know. I haven't flown it.
I mean, I don't see it hunting anyway when I fly.
But see, your rebuilt Vector has my numbers in it too.
Yeah, it's a different fuselage. I know.
It's an IC fuselage. It's not.
Yeah.
It's different.
There's no difference in an IC fuselage.
Okay.
That's not
I'll tell you what, Phil, the tail on that airplane is twice the size of a Vector.
Oh, that I know. I remember seeing it. Yeah.
What,
Now
the
that
Spectre?
you could have it there. That could be a problem because the
You're
way
talking
I've
about
gotten
Got it,
out,
huh?
the way I've gotten out of several designs to not hunt was a bigger tail and a longer fuselage.
Mm,
Well,
yeah, and that's what
That's the
Bob did
secret
when
to-
he rebuilt mine.
That's the secret to the Fancerized Twister and my Stinger,
Mm,
which are built totally independent of one another. Bob Hunt can tell you that because he saw my Stinger, and the Fancerized Twister plans were still laying on his desk at Flying Models. But my tail is bigger and I'm 2 inches longer. And that thing, the whole reason was I'd had two twisters and they both hunted, just hunted bad.
mm.
Fox 35s. Well, Stinger was originally a Fox 35.
compared to
Then I
that,
put an FP 40 in it and it don't hunt.
still bigger. Holy shit.
Do what?
The
What
same
Bob say? I didn't.
Vector when I rebuilt the fuselage, I stretched it and made the tail bigger.
Well, you
Mhm.
got a better airplane. You leaving?
No, Jim Hoffman showed up again.
Yeah, Jim's
Yeah.
Hope he's
Jim's here.
back.
Jim
Hello.
is the one
Hey,
that
Jim.
Jim is the one who told me about that buffer I bought, and it works. It works really well. The gray shit.
Harbor
You're
Freight
muted, Jim.
knockoff.
Can't hear you.
I can't hear him. I don't know.
You can't hear me?
No,
No, I can hear you.
Jim
You can't hear
Hoffman.
Jim.
Well, he's not muted.
Hmm.
His microphone's not working. That's a shame because he's always a wealth of knowledge.
Harbor Freight sells a knockoff buffer. It's very similar to this, $50.
I almost got one and I got ready to check out and I went, hell, this doesn't have a battery.
Yeah, you gotta buy the battery.
Battery separate.
Yeah. It's still cheaper than the Snap-on, even when you got to buy a battery though.
This is
Look at
500
the gray shit.
and the batteries are $100 a piece,
Oh,
but it's good.
I'll stick with my corded one. Wow.
you can't use a cordless drill
Cordless drill too fast.
Too fast.
too fast.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
How today you asked me what's the RPM and I was real slow.
Probably 400 or less.
And if you think that's bad, I got a second speed. I don't use it normally. Watch this.
Yeah, you'll burn the paint at that.
Yeah.
Mm.
But I got my big buffer down in the bottom if somebody wants to come over here and hold this airplane while I buff it.
It's like a Colleen said that sounds like a Tom Sawyer issue to me.
Well, that big buffer is a Makita. It's a car buffer, professional buffer. And if it grabs that airplane, it will fling it across the room.
That's right.
I guarantee you.
That's right.
I guarantee it.
Now we
That's
got
like giving Joe Gilbert 1,000 grit sandpaper to sand. No, I'm not touching clear with a 1,000 grit sandpaper.
That's too
I'd
cool.
kill it.
What do
We
you
have
use,
two
Joe?
gyms now. We have Jim and
1800. I
Trey.
start with 1,800. I don't start that core stuff. I'd kill it. I'm not good enough. I end up at 4,000 grit, Phil. That
4,000.
plastic looking 3M stuff.
2,000 looks like newsprint. Good gracious.
Start out with 1,500 and end up with 5,000.
Yeah, you gotta do 1,804, but that's all right.
Wow.
Sparky's way better than me. My airplanes are just barely acceptable.
And if you don't think 5,000 will take paint off, bring me your airplane.
Oh, I did custom cars for years. I know it will. I've still got a few custom car trophies out in the building. It was all from custom paint. We didn't do any modifying the looks of the car. We just put custom paint jobs on them. And I know about fine sandpaper. I know about sex wax too. It looks
So-
real good. But
Jim,
first time you hit it,
can you talk?
first time you hit it with water, it just goes
Can you
away.
hear me now?
I hear
Yes.
you now. Yes.
Yeah.
Hello, Jim.
Different
Hello,
computer
Jim.
or
Hiya, hiya.
Good to hear from you, Jim.
We
Good
have
to
our
see you.
Tucson reservations made.
Excellent.
Do you have
Excellent.
yours made?
Yes, my hotel reservation's made. I haven't entered yet. I need to do.
We've done all that.
That
We're
ought to be
staying at the
coming
same
up pretty
place as
quick.
last year. That worked out well.
Yeah, that's been a nice hotel. So
It has been. I agree.
we're going to stay with them.
Us too.
It- It's a shame that time of year. I mean, it's popular because of the weather, and that's why we do it there. But hotel rates are
Pretty
mighty
high.
Yeah.
But in the grand scheme of things, the kids are going to spend the money anyhow.
Yep.
Yeah.
No.
You've been saving all this money all this time. We might as well get to enjoy some of it ourselves. Hey, that's the first time I've ever seen split screen like that. That's cool.
That's kind of cool.
Yeah, I like that.
So I have a technical question. I was out flying my my Lunar, and it's really
You're out
been
there.
it was trouble free for since I built it until a couple of weeks ago, and then the motor started acting up, and I'd take off, go half the flight, and it would bump up in RPM maybe 300 or 400, and then stay there. And I tried all the obvious things: new fuel tank, fuel systems, glow plugs, what's loose, all that, ram air, different fuel, plugs, everything. And I eventually swapped out the motor. That fixed it. And then I looked at the motor and I discovered that one of the head bolts is the female thread in the case is stripped.
There you go.
So okay, all right.
Helicoil time.
No, not really. You can't get a helicoil down in that blind. It's a blind hole down in the engine.
Be surprised what a machinist can do.
Well, yeah, I know. So here's the technical question.
JB Weld and retap it.
Yeah.
It
What I
would-
really need is a
Right.
new case.
Now, JB Weld and retap it. It'll work. That's good.
I'll try that. The Aero Tiger is built on a Thunder Tiger case.
36.
And I've got a Thunder Tiger. I looked at it, at least an external inspection. I can't see anything he did to it.
I don't. as
I
understand it,
wonder
it's
if the
just
case
that
is
piston
stock.
sleeve.
Case
anyone
is pretty
know?
much stock, Jim. It's the fact it's got that overboard sleeve and piston in it.
Right. I know he's got a different sleeve and piston and maybe a rework crank. But the question is, did he do anything to the case that I don't know about?
I don't
really
know
don't
that,
know.
but I would say no.
I don't think so.
That's
He built
what I
too
think.
many of those things too quick.
Jim,
Oh.
He was putting those things out.
take your case, put JB Weld on top of it, take a piece of piano wire and start stuffing that JB Weld down in there. Make sure it's packed in there real good. Let it harden. Drill a hole. Make sure you use the right size drill for the 440 or whatever size screw it is, and retap it. Okay.
I'll try that. It's a metric screw, but that is absolutely worth a try.
Isn't it 5 millimeter?
No, it's probably.
don't know.
I think it's 3 millimeter.
3, you think?
I'll
I
have
think
to
it's
find
3.
out.
I would do what Sparky says, and I'd put it together with Loctite one time. Is going to be a one-shot deal. If it works, it works. If it don't, it don't.
Yeah. Okay. I'll give it
I
a
don't
try.
know. I'd like to know if you could take a Magnum case. Is there any difference in a Magnum case and a Super Tiger case?
I'll let you know because I have one of those too.
The Magnum and the Thunder Tiger are definitely different.
Are they different cases?
Yes,
Okay. I didn't know that.
they're not.
So while I'm at it, I'm going to replace the bearings too. But if I do that,
Yeah, if you
But-
take it apart, definitely change the bearings.
so
But,
I've got 3 Aero Tigers. I'm not concerned, and I have access to probably 4 or 5 more.
Oh, crap. Wait a minute.
Good gracious.
Hey,
Hey,
wait a
hey,
second.
buddy. Hey, Jim, old buddy, old pal.
Now they're not mine, but it's the kind of motors that if I need them, I can
Okay.
borrow.
Sure. An
Boy,
Aero
to
Tiger,
goodness.
I'm
Tell you
going to
the other
make this
thing I learned.
statement. An Aero Tiger is the stupidest engine I ever had. If you want to run 8,800, set the needle for 88. You want 9,000, set it for 9,000. You want 9,600, set it for 96.
Yeah.
That is one of the easiest engines to run I've ever seen in my life, bar none.
Yep. I agree.
Bar none.
Once you realize you got to put a bunch of back pressure on it.
It needs a little
Yes,
load, in my opinion, but they
It needs
they
load.
don't need nitro. At Tucson, I've never run more than 7.5% nitro on my Super Thunder
No,
Aero Tiger.
It does not respond to nitro.
It
I
doesn't like
agree.
nitro. And
No,
in my opinion, it doesn't like all synthetic fuel. It's the only engine I got that doesn't like all synthetic.
I run
likes
half
a-
and half.
I run 5% Caster, and I don't know why.
I've been
but
running 5% 1022 in mine to break it in, and seems to like that. It doesn't really need breaking in. I'm trying to get used to the engine and get it running.
Mike Palco chimed in, Steve, use a 2826 in places of 23 or 3515, which we already knew. And then David E asked, discuss Brodak. A Brodak silk span, as far as I'm concerned, is the only thing you can get now. But if you can get older silk span, it's a whole lot better. It's a different animal. But
Yeah, it really is.
it does.
Well, I got to go eat. I'll be back in a bit.
The
Use
Brodak-
polyspan.
Polyspan, it's too heavy. Good stuff, but it's heavy.
I guess there's different grades of polyspan.
I've only seen one. I bought the Tom Morris polyspan.
I got something lighter than that. I don't know where I got it. I bought mine from Marvin Denny
There is something called polyspan light. I've seen it.
2 decades ago.
I had some samples and I measured them. The weight difference is not even measurable on our equipment.
The difference is not in the weight of the paper. It's in how much dope it takes to fill.
Yeah.
Well, dope it upside down.
Yeah, right.
You don't? You don't do that?
No.
My first coat's upside down. 1 bay turned over 2 bays. 2 bays upside down. Yes, sir. I dope everything I do is upside down the first 2 or 3 coats.
Well,
Well, that explains your glasses are always fogged up.
That's right. But I got light airplanes because the dope don't soak through. It stays on the top.
Oh, very interesting. Interesting.
So I do 2 bays max.
Interesting flying my Lunar. I hadn't flown it in half a year. I had been tuned into the big airplane and I switched over to the classic style airplane. What a difference.
They're not the same, Jim.
The corner is no corner compared to the big one. Have to relearn how to fly it.
That's the hard part at Tucson when you fly old time and you fly classic back to back next day. They don't, in my opinion, you can't make a ringmaster fly like a Cavalier, and you can't make a Cavalier fly like an Impact.
Right. Yeah. So I can go between an old time and a expert airplane, but I can't put that classic there in the middle. I can't do that.
It's hard, I think. They're very difficult, in my opinion. I'm glad you're practicing, but I hope you don't get too good.
Well, right now I'm trying to make the motor work.
You'll get that.
Yeah.
That Aero Tiger will work. I've got I think it's Byron Barker. Do you guys know that name, Byron Barker? I got a Byron Barker Aero Tiger that he changed. It's I don't know what he does to it, but it's not got that piston and sleeve like Randy used. And I haven't ran that yet, but I hope it runs good.
Oh,
The one I had broke so hard that it was unmanageable. I never could tame it.
Did you ever put head shims in it?
Yeah, I played with all that.
That didn't work.
No.
Well, that's not encouraging.
No. That was my recollection.
Your motor yet, Joe?
I haven't ran it. No, sir. It's still new. I've never ran it.
You'll find with Byron, as far as my past experience with him, he detunes them. They just got no power. But I don't know.
Well, what Jim's saying is opposite. If it breaks too hard,
Yeah.
I didn't say it had power. I just said it broke hard.
you might
I don't-
take head shims out and compress it more where it doesn't want to break and might be a head.
Maybe.
There's two ways of looking at that, I think. I'm not sure, but
I was introduced to him through Alan Brickhouse, I think.
is that right? I'll be darned.
Because I remember
New Albany, they used to have a circle down there. We had a contest every year. And it was dirt. They flew on dirt that was oiled.
With dioxin.
I don't know what it was. It was like being in a junkyard.
Hmm.
It's a good contest.
That was supposed to be a St. Louis joke, Sparky.
Oh, okay.
You know, remember the Russell Bliss Times Beach dioxin thing?
No.
Yeah. They had dirt roads and he sprayed them with oil, but that oil was contaminated with dioxin. It's now a state park, by the way.
Yeah, how much
Times
sense does
Beach.
that make?
All the houses are gone. It's a state park. Never been there.
Jim, are you using all the carbon fiber props on the Aero Tigers?
yeah, I use those Phelps props
Yes.
with a big undercamber.
Right.
Yeah, that's all I use on those. I tried a 3-blade years ago that Ray Firkins had good luck with it. I never could make it work right, so I went back to the Phelps.
I run 11.5 Ws on mine, rev ups.
Do
Bob
you?
Whiteley said, "What do you run that prop for like that?" I said, "It works better in the triangle and the outside squares." Can you hear him, Jim?
Yep. Well, you know what I've learned I don't like about those. That Phelps carbon prop weighs a ton,
It's too heavy.
and so you got this big gyroscope. I put together a couple of wood props that I've been thinking of trying for that reason, to just take some mass out of that big spinning gyroscope.
Well, don't use 11.5 W. Just keep using that prop.
Are you going to Brodax? Jim?
No, that's a long way. I went there once many years ago.
Yep.
I got some rev up props. I give you one to try.
Well, I can loan you one at Tucson, but I don't want to because he'll beat me with it.
Not likely. No, if I have time, I have some wood props to try. I'm
Rev
gonna
up.
give it a go.
On
You
it.
like to rev up 11.5?
11.5 W is what I use on mine. And
Yeah,
they're not all created equal either.
right.
And just make it, don't even let it tickle when you launch. Just let it be a 4-stroke. Tickle it and back it up an 1/8 of a turn. And it
No.
might sound a little rich, but it'll come to you.
Use some Phelps entry on that prop.
That'll help in the wind.
Yeah.
It feels like a little more pitch, I guess, when you do that.
Uh-huh. It does.
Yeah.
But you don't need to be beeping. Typically speaking, don't be beeping. Just
No.
be what it may sound a little rich to you, but when you get airborne, it'll come to you just a little, I think.
No, I do like how that motor runs. It makes nice power. It's
It does.
it's a nice light. It's like a 41 ounce. That Lunar weighs about 41 ounces. So
Oh, sweet.
nice.
That's sweet.
And
It's
then
got
your yellow airplane, Joe?
Say again?
Your yellow airplane, isn't that the same?
That's a Venus.
Venus,
It's
same,
called a Venus by Mario Rondinelli.
same
It
thing.
weighs 45 ounces. It's got a LA 46 in it, and I'm running that skinny prop that Bert Brokaw used. Jim, you've seen them run those, I bet. That skinny 12-inch prop
I don't know the prop.
looked like a toothpick.
Yeah. Don't
I
know.
bought mine from Bob Whiteley out of Florida. Remember that name?
Bob Whitney.
Whitney. Bob Whitney. That's it. I don't know if he's still,
Nitro.
well, it had 20% nitro, but I didn't want it to break. It
Is
just
it
run
carbon?
4-stroke. Yes. And that engine never breaks. It just grunts the whole time.
Yeah.
But that's the nitro causing that.
I had
The
that
Aero Tiger won't
Tiger-
break either.
I had that Aero Tiger in a P-Force for years.
Oh my gosh, that's overkill.
That was fun.
I bet.
Len Burrell and Mark Weiss are in the house.
Lynn. Yeah, Lynn. Hello, Mark.
Hey, guys.
Hey, guys.
Lynn's gonna have some cold weather coming too if he ain't got it already.
Oh, we got it. It's
You
cold.
got Is
You
it?
fly
Oh
today?
yeah. Yeah, it's minus. It's minus too many.
Did you fly today?
Did you
I
fly?
flew today. Oh yeah, I flew today.
Oh, you are
Oh.
Got my
awesome,
flight
dude.
in.
Oh my God. Did you start
It
the
was-
airplane in the house and drag it outside and chunk it?
No, we started it outside, but it quit after 2 laps and it dunked in the snow, and then we had to start it again. That wasn't fun at all.
Ooh,
By the time I got in the house after the second go, my hands were frozen.
Oh my word.
You
Too
can't wear
cold to
gloves.
run.
Can't use gloves, so you just got to keep going. I figure you get 2 tries. If you don't get it in 2 tries, you got to go in and warm up. because
Oh
your
my
hands are
goodness.
frozen. Got no feeling.
Somebody should invent like a
I'm
little
flying the
electric
airplane
motor that
and
you
I
can
keep
start
switching
it.
hands. One hand in the pocket, one hand in the handle. Switch hands. Put the other
Oh
hand in the pocket.
Below zero for real?
Oh yeah, it was cold.
Oh
It
my
was really
word.
cold.
The poor burger launching it's gonna be cold too. Hands
Yeah,
behind. that
Naomi
front
wasn't.
door.
Hey, my launcher was not impressed at all today. Naomi was
she,
not impressed.
Is
And
she
look-
still outside, Len?
What's that? Yeah, she's still outside.
She's
That
still
is one
outside.
tough chick, y'all. You get over that. That's a tough chick right there. Launching in zero weather outside. That girl's
Yeah, it
tough.
was cold. It
Guarantee
was
you.
cold.
Let,
We had
let
a,
Well
ni-
her
a nice
laugh.
fresh dump of snow too. So when the plane landed, it just buries itself. You can't even see it. It just goes right under the snow. Now I got to try and restart this thing. Oh yeah.
When it's that cold, you might take your lighter fluid and squirt a little bit in your syringe before you fill the tank.
Yeah, that might have been a better
Might
idea.
make it stay lit a little longer. You ain't got
Your
just
fluid, put it on the engine,
whole-
put it on the motor, and then light it on fire.
then
Light
start
her
it.
up. Burn her up. Yeah, heat it up.
The glow
Yeah.
plug's gonna want to go out. It's so cold.
Oh yeah. It's hard starting them when it's like this. So you,
Man,
you
I
gotta
would, I
really
would
be
get
quick.
I just get that lighter fluid. I just squirt into 1 ounce of
Well,
fuel
see,
and let
what
it
we
run.
do, we have a routine, and what we do is we burp it in the garage a few times first to get it really nice and warm and lubricated.
Yes.
Fill the tank in the garage. Make sure the handle's not attached to the wing with the rubber band. Walk out to the backyard, unroll the handle, get the syringe out, give it a prime, and hit it. Go. And no fiddling around, because if you fiddle around, it's too late. It's done. It won't do anything.
Wow.
wow.
Len, you would laugh at what we call cold out here.
What do you call cold?
50 degrees.
40.
Oh, come on.
60.
I'll take it.
40. We
I'll take
fly
it
when
any
it's
day of
50.
Hello.
I'll take it any day of the week. I'll take 40 degrees
Yeah,
any
I'm
day.
with you. I'm trying
Joel
to
Stewart.
mute myself. I don't know. So I just checking on the boys. They have a good time today.
We fly every day and we go out and walk every day. It doesn't matter what the cold is, we do it.
Good. All
Good
right.
on you. Good on you.
Good. Bye.
All in good fun.
I'm proud of you, Lynn. You're awesome.
Who are you, Joe?
Dude, zero in your flying airplane. Elwin Odd went out and flew years ago at Blue Daubers. It was 21 degrees and it had snowed and it kind of rained. And there was probably 3 inches of snow, but you could walk on it. It was so solid. And I took sandbag and I put sand in the middle of the circle.
Yep.
And we had a clubhouse there and we plugged the extension cord in and run it out there. Heated that big old Super Tiger 60 up upside down, primed it, heated it, flipped it, run that burger and flew. Then when you landed, you could roll a half a lap on that ice, dude. It was so cool.
Oh, that's awesome. I've done
Yeah.
that before. That's a lot of fun.
That was
Landing on
awesome.
ice is the best. Yeah, landing on ice is the greatest experience you'll ever live
You could
through.
you
If
could
you've
roll
never
a
landed
half a
on
lap.
ice, yeah, if you've never landed a model airplane on ice for control line, you've never lived.
You
I
can
tell you.
you can go a half a lap
World.
on the landing. It
Oh
was so
yeah,
cool.
it's like comes in, it just slides right along. It's like
Slides.
wonderful. Oh
We go
yeah.
back in the house and warm up, and then come back out, take our little monochrome iron,
Yep.
heat that big old
Go
Tiger
again.
60 up, fire it up, and run to the handle. We're not running fast. You could go on ice, but we poured sand on the middle where you could stand. You know, so-
Otherwise you're going
Oh,
arse over
you'd
tea
fall
kettle
down,
real
dude.
quick.
you'd fall down. It was Elwin Odd was all right, dude. I don't know if you guys know Elwin, but he was a good lad.
He was a nice
Hardest
man.
part is
Nice
getting-
man.
Hardest part is getting to and from the handle.
That's right. That's right. It's all good.
Lots of fun.
Well, I got a show and tell. Let me go get it.
All right.
For it.
Good deal. Looking forward to Brodax, Mark.
What about?
I'm looking forward to Brodax.
I think she's trying to get the program out tomorrow.
We called the hotel day before yesterday, and they haven't heard anything on discounts, so we're probably waiting. They'll be getting to that pretty quick, I bet.
Yes, they will. Yeah, they will. We got, right now, Joe, we got 27 pilots coming to Triple Tree.
Is that right? Well
Yeah.
done.
Yeah.
Well done. Jim should just fly to Triple Tree. I'll put you up, Hoffman. You fly to Triple Tree, I'll put you up.
When is it?
The
April what, Colleen?
24th, 25th, and 26th. It
Yeah, I
should
think
be
that's
a
right.
Thursday, Friday, Saturday.
That's right.
In April.
In April.
We'll be about the only ones there.
You'll fly out there and I'll give you free rent and board
Damn.
in a trailer house, a double wide trailer house, 4 minutes from the airport.
I'll still be looking for my glow starter in the snow.
Oh my goodness.
That's the one that
Lord.
Dave goes out to, I think. Is it?
He has in the past, yes.
Okay.
Is Fitzgerald signed up to come out yet, Mark? Have you heard?
Yeah, David has come out for many years now.
Many years. I don't know if he's
Yeah.
coming this year or not.
No, he can't. He has a daughter graduation.
Okay.
Yeah.
He's
Derek
coming to
Berry's gonna be there.
BSC.
He said Jim Hoffman would come in his place.
Yeah.
I'm not saying no.
Attaboy.
Fly out there. We've got John Blanchard and I, we rented what did we rent, Colleen? A double wide trailer house, Jim.
I want to ride in the chipmunk.
The Chipmunk, that's in Tulsa. That ain't going to be out there. Shoot. Fitzgerald's been in the Chipmunk. Orestes has been in the Chipmunk. It's just a no antique airplane with Lucas Spark. Everybody badmouths Lucas Spark. Hey, dude, I'll give you $50 dang. You come to Tulsa and you grab hold of the lead and I'll take it off spark plug and I'll crank it for 5 seconds. If you can hang on for 5 seconds, I'll give you $50 on that Lucas Spark system.
I'll tell you what, I'll do
Sign
that.
up.
I'll do that, but you gotta stand next to me.
No, you ain't grabbing me. You ain't grabbing me. No.
I already did that at Harley Davidson. They said, who will hold this? I said, I will. And I reached over and grabbed the instructor and he hit the button.
Oh, crap. Shock the living crap out of him. That Lucas system will shock you, mister. Woo, look out.
That's why the English have warm beer.
There's a lot of things the English have that I don't necessarily want. Give me a Lycoming, Robert. Ed knows about Lycomings.
Yeah, a little bit. Easier to work on in some of the Continentals.
They are. They're just a little tougher engine than a Continental.
Do they have
Yeah.
magnetic Morelli ignition?
They got slick, usually slick or EMAGs. What you flew behind, Robert, was one EMAG and one slick. Magnetos will bite you too, mister.
Oh, yeah.
Holy crap. They make your arms tingle.
Hey, Joe,
Yes,
I know you're a man of God, aren't you?
yes, I am.
Okay. Well, this guy named John has always been a man of God, but every time he does anything, he always chooses the wrong thing. And his life has been so terrible that the last time we saw him, he's standing on the edge of the beach. He takes off his shoes and he starts walking into the ocean until he drowns. That's his plan. And he gets about halfway and God appears. And God says, John, what are you doing? He says, God, I've been a good man. Nothing has worked out. There's no reason for me to live 5 minutes more. And God says, I'll tell you what I'll do. I'll give you any wish you want right now. Make it a good one, and maybe it'll change your life. And John said, God, that's awesome. And God says, take your time. And John says, no, I got it. God, I want you to build a highway and a bridge right from here across the ocean into Hawaii. And that way I could somehow get a car and drive to Hawaii. And I got to tell you, God wasn't real happy. He said, John, do you know what kind of project that is? That's 6,000 miles of drilling into the ocean floor and supporting, and you got cross traffic of ocean liners, and oh my God. And quite honestly, that's kind of selfish. John, if you're one of my people, you shouldn't really feel that way. Could you think of something else? So John said, matter of fact, yes, God. Could you just spend some time with me and explain women? And God thinks for a while and he said, you know what? I think I can do that bridge.
I'll build that bridge.
Yeah. Easier.
Thanks a lot, Mark.
Thanks a lot, Mark. So Forrest Gump goes to heaven, dies and goes to heaven. The front gate, Peter says, well, Forrest, you're saved by God, but I still want to ask you 3 questions. He says, I want you to tell me what days of the week start with a T. And Forrest said, that's easy, today and tomorrow. Peter said, well, I guess that's right. He says, well, the next question's a lot harder, Forrest. How many seconds are in a year? He said, that's easy. There's only 12. January 2nd, February 2nd, March 2nd. And Peter goes, well, I guess you're right, Forrest, So he says, well, the next one's really hard. Nobody's ever got this right. He says, what is God's first name? And Forrest says, you people aren't very smart. His name is Andy. He said, what? He says, and he walks with me and he talks with me. That's a dumb joke, but I liked it anyhow.
I think Jim's got his show and tell
Jim,
ready.
you got show and tell, right?
All right. So at a contest last year, we were sitting around in a bar, actually, and we were talking about our childhoods, our youths. And this came up.
Youths. Oh my gosh, a Cox.
You guys remember these?
Oh, yeah.
That's a tether car.
Yeah.
It's a tether car.
Cox tether car.
It has a Cox 049 on the back. And I said, we're at this beautiful site. It's all paved. And I said, if we all got some of these, we could have fun after the contest. And everyone said, yeehaw. So I said, let me try to figure it out how we're going to do this. So step one is I went on eBay.
Call from the Casa Grande.
That'll stop.
Call from the Casa Grande.
Yeah, who's ordered?
I went on eBay and bought this. The motor didn't work, so I'm getting another motor. And then I got to find a place to run it. But these were a lot of fun when I was a kid.
You have to give that.
Are they
Cool.
How much did you give for that on eBay?
Don't ask. A lot.
150?
No, north of that, a little north of that.
I had when I was a kid, I had a tether car that was direct drive. It was a sidewinder.
Oh, really?
Yeah, we set it up in my driveway. My dad helped me get it going. That thing hauled ass. It was
Yep. And most of what you see on eBay is what you're describing, Sparky. The direct drive to the wheels.
right.
oh.
Do you need an engine, Jim?
Well, Callentine says he has one. And if it doesn't run, I'll call you.
Okay, do that before March. If you need one, I'll bring you something.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, the one
Jim,
that came with it didn't run. Oh,
Jim, I've got the same car with an engine. It's never been run.
Really?
Hmm.
Oh
So
my
Jim,
gosh.
Jim, it looks like it runs clockwise. Is that right? Looks like there are eyelets on the inside.
Yes.
yes. Yeah, it runs. Yeah, it goes the other way.
Yeah.
Goes
Although
backwards.
this one was modified and somebody drilled some holes on the other side too.
Oh, okay.
Try it.
Will that
Good.
run with the thimble drone?
It run with a baby bee.
Is that just the little tank one?
Yeah, that's the little tank.
Okay.
Because I don't think you want the big tank on
No,
this.
it'd run too long.
Yeah.
I'll just throw one in to make sure you get something.
Yeah, throw it in the car.
I'll just bring some.
I'm having a hard time finding a place to go do it.
You have to be able to drive a nail in the ground and 40-foot strings and line it up. You got to build a yoke.
Well, I did that. I built a yoke, but I haven't found a parking lot that would work.
Really?
Yeah.
Doesn't it need about a 40-foot string?
That's my guess. And I want to do some testing. I'll build a 40-foot, a 50-foot, a 30-foot. But I want to do some testing because I know at our contest at Golden State in October, we have this perfect site. It'd be perfect for these. So I got to get everything ready and then encourage people to.
We need to trim that yoke where it's not running in or not running out.
Yeah.
There's a
Yeah.
sweet spot there too, I bet.
Yeah. Yeah.
Get a big long nail.
That's right.
With the loop.
Yeah. So I'll just use control line cable for the line.
Sure. Use some 15,000s or 12,000s, make a loop, make a yoke.
Yep. I've got that. I've got a little electric starter for the half A's, which makes it nice.
I'll bring you a motor just to be sure you got something.
Gordon, you said you have one?
Yeah, I'll go get it. I'll be right back.
$50, Gordon.
150. I'll race Jim.
Go
I'll
out
put a
and
Black
say.
Widow on mine. I'll make it go.
Well, that's the thing that happened as we were talking about this. The competitive nature of our friends came out.
Yeah. 50% nitro and a Black Widow will make it run.
Everyone had an idea.
Oh my goodness.
But I was able to
50%
clean
nitro,
this
a
thing
high
up.
compression head, and a 3-inch prop. It'll go.
Hey Jim, why don't you just ship it to Len? He'll run it.
In the
Yeah,
snow.
I used-
You
on
put
the
skis
ice.
on
I
it
used-
and run it in the snow.
I used to fly a lot of mouse race, and Paul Jabot taught me how to make an 049 run like I'd never seen before.
Then you
boy.
need to bring
put
him an engine to Tucson. That's the key right there.
Oh man, you bring you a motor. I'll show you how it runs.
So you need to
Holy moly!
come to Golden State in October. It's closer.
Wish I could.
That's awesome, Jim. Well done.
So, but go on eBay. You'll gag at what these things go for.
Oh my
I'm
goodness.
sure.
How much were they when you guys were kids?
$5.95.
Right.
Probably.
Bang.
I did last week see a parking lot that looked perfect. I saw it from the freeway. So I pull off the exit, go in there, and it says private property. And I go in, and there's a dozen, it's all orange cones in the parking lot, and there's a dozen cop cars in there.
Mm.
And so they must use it for practice or something.
Yeah.
And
I bet so.
I wish I could find a person to talk to, because I bet you they'd let
They would let you do it if you took it and say, look, this is what I got. Can I run this for 30 minutes?
Right.
They'd
Right.
say,
But if I
yeah.
was a kid, right, when we were kids, you wouldn't have asked.
No, you'd have took any piece of pavement you could get.
That's right.
But
Local schoolyard, and away you go.
yeah, I'm not going to have a confrontation with the law for this.
No. But things were different 60 years ago or 58 years ago, say, you know.
Sure were.
When I was a little boy, if I heard an airplane engine running, I went on my bicycle and I drove there as fast as I could.
Me too. As soon as you hear those old 4.9s, you know that sound
Light
anywhere.
up and go, baby. We have lived on a cul-de-sac, and I flew a lot of half A's in the cul-de-sac. If somebody drove up, they just waited till I landed and then went and parked. It was okay.
Yeah.
They didn't care. It wouldn't run for 2 minutes anyhow.
What I missed the most is our best fishing spots were in the reservoir. We had to climb over a chain link fence, says no trespassing, and we fished in the reservoir. It was wonderful. I don't think I would do that as an adult.
No, probably not. It's getting harder, I think. To me, the older I get, the more difficult things are getting.
Not that right.
Gordon got his.
Show us what you got, Gordon.
Let's have a look, Gordon. What do you got?
Right here.
Oh my gosh, he's got it. Make him
Got the
big,
motor.
please.
Hold it up.
Make him big, please.
Trying to find him. There he is.
There
A
we
little
go.
up higher, Gordon.
Looks like a dog. Oh,
That's the exact same thing.
That is.
But that's got a Black Widow on it type engine.
oh wow.
That's got a stunt tank on it. Look,
Yeah, it's
it
got the
can go
big tank,
upside
yeah.
down. That stuff can go
Can you
upside
imagine?
down.
I want to fly that inverted.
That looks great.
It's got a stunt
Yeah.
tank on it, bigger than Dallas. Holy cow.
Yeah, this is the original engine, original prop.
It's nice.
That's Art Garfon right there.
That's a Golden Bee.
That's
engine.
right.
Yeah, that'll run too long.
Well, it's the same size tank as the Baby Bee.
Is it?
Oh, is it?
It looks
Yeah.
bigger.
No, it's the same size, except it's got the vents top and bottom.
Yep.
Oh. Well, I hope you don't need to go inverted with that, baby.
Mhm.
Oh, that's so cool.
Well,
Gordon,
hang on to that, Gordon. We'll find a
Cool.
venue for it this year, I hope.
did you ever run that?
$1,000 worth, Gordon.
I'm sorry, what?
Did you run it?
$1,000 worth.
I don't know how much is it worth.
I'm looking right now. I haven't run across it yet, but I'll figure it out.
You'll see it for $300 and $400.
Wow.
Yeah. This is
Fun
brand
don't come
spanking.
cheap.
This has never been run. No damage. It's like it just came out of the box.
Never been
Oh.
rained on, has it, Gordon? Never been rained on.
Never been rained on.
Never run uphill ever. Uphill.
No, the motor's never been run.
Mm.
All right, that probably is worth a lot of money.
Yeah.
Look at that cat back there. That cat don't care. Off your left shoulder, there's a kitty cat that don't care, Gordon.
Oh yeah. Yeah. When I come out here, she kind of hangs out, and the dog hangs out.
That's all good.
Yeah.
The only problem with all those old half-A things is all the plastic is so brittle because they're so old.
Mm.
Stuck one down with armor roll.
Unfortunate.
Maybe that'll make it better.
One for $49.95. Same car.
$49.
Yep, $49.95.
No way.
Yep.
Really?
Josh.
Wow.
Prop
That's cool.
One bid, $49.95. Ends in a day.
That'll
That's
go
really
up.
cool. I've never had one of those, but I saw them when I was a little Bowie.
I had the red one when I was a kid.
Here's a McCoy tether car for $550.
That's more like it, I think.
My buddy bought 2 of those.
Here's another green
off
Shrike.
eBay.
Here's a green Shrike exactly like that with an 049, and it has the glow plug clip, a wrench, the harness, and a Cox battery for $171.
It's not done bidding yet.
Nope, it's a buy it now price, $171.74.
So the Cox battery's got lots of power still.
Oh yeah.
They ought to come with Band-Aids.
There's a Shrike.
Oh man,
That's in a
cool.
box. Look at that.
Wow.
That's
Energize.
That's why it's $300. That's
Salt
awesome.
Flat Racer.
That's the same car. Is it the same car or not?
I
Yeah.
think.
Yeah.
It's got a bird on the fender.
Yeah.
That's
a deal.
So Jim, how much did you say you paid for yours
I paid $175.
without the engine?
No, it had an engine, but the engine didn't work, and
Oh,
mine is very used. I spent 2 hours cleaning it up.
Wow.
Oh,
That's $500 right there. $250 an hour for your labor.
Yep.
yeah, this doesn't need cleaned up. It's never had oil on it.
Now, hopefully at Golden State we can make this all happen. So I'm working on it. First, I got to just make mine work and prove everything works, and get Dennis Nunes to say thumbs up. But this facility's perfect.
Did you put like some kind of weight in the middle with the pipe on it and run it on the pipe? I don't have. How are they going to pull, you think? They ain't going to pull very hard, are they?
I built a yoke, and we'll get some weights from a weightlifting setup.
Yes.
To hold it. It's just a piece of music wire sticks up, 8-10 inches, and
Sure.
not much to it. I just want to prove that it works.
I'm quite certain you'll figure that out.
Looks like good fun.
Now, I wish our flying circles in Tucson, it's a donut, and so the inner part of it's like
Too rough.
50 feet. The inside of the donut.
It's too rough.
Too big.
It would go that far, but it's too far. Yeah, put tip weight on it if you put that long of lines on it.
On it, you spin around with it.
Hey,
Hey,
been good to
Jim.
run in Muncie last summer.
Yeah, we got a speed circle in St. Louis you could run it on.
Hey, Jim, we got a donut at Broduck.
Oh,
There you
It'd be
go.
bouncing across that grass really, really good.
Yep.
Big for that little car.
no.
I don't know how long the lines need to be, but I don't think they need to be. At 60 feet, it might not stay out there without tip weight.
Yeah.
I don't think 60 feet will work, but
No, I don't either.
I'm thinking 30 and 40 feet.
I think 40's tops, I would guess.
It's a good use for Spectra. I've got a lot of Spectra lines.
There you go.
Use
That's perfect, I think.
We fly those little 020 tether airplanes, and we made the plate a 1/2 inch thick, and what, 1.5 feet, 2 feet wide in a circle. Put the pole 18 inches high, and when we first tried it out, it was walking the plate around. We took some buckshot, 20 pounds of buckshot, put on it to stop the plate from walking.
A steel plate?
Yeah, 1/2 inch solid steel.
Ooh.
And it was walking the plate around the circle.
18 inches tall. If you made it 3 inches tall, be better. For your purpose, Jim.
Yeah. The one I built is, I'm going to say 6 or 8 inches tall, the one I built.
The rub is if the lines drag the ground, hits a rock, that could cause trouble too.
Yep.
Make sure to get video of it.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think you'd want it taller than that, Jim, that post.
Okay. I can do that the way I built it.
To keep it from dragging, maybe.
Yeah. The
Right.
thing I built looks like your wing mounted landing gear upside down.
But a 20-pound shot's a good bit of weight.
No. So just what I need, another hobby.
Mhm.
You could buy a
Enough
chipmunk.
hobbies, Jim.
It's the same hobby. You got to put a propeller on it.
You can buy a
Just an
chipmunk. I'll
extension.
sell you a chipmunk reasonable.
Better yet, have somebody launch it, start it, and you can stand out there and hold it up off the ground and turn around in circles with it.
Whip it good.
Sounds like you guys are talking about a control line duck for hunting practice. What are you
Show
talking
him,
about?
Gordy. Show him what you're talking about.
Ah, righto. Now I'm in the picture.
There
I
it
thought it
is.
might have been
Two
boats
of
from over there. Ah, yeah, right. Gee, I'd like to see that going round. What a ripper.
Yeah. I don't even know if the motor will turn over. Oh, yeah. I guess because it hasn't had any oil in it, or it hasn't been run.
And I would love to try and hold on to one of those with a high compression head and 35 or 40% nitro.
40.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Well, I do
The
have
sound.
some high compression heads for them.
Oh yeah. It'd just scream.
I'll put an engine in the flight box, Jim. I'm going to go do it right now.
All right, that's good.
Jim Hoffman, I sent you a video.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm going to get off here. Take care, y'all.
All right. See
Easy,
you.
Joe.
All right, see you in
All
March.
right, Joe.
Sounds good.
See ya.
Bye-bye.
Don Holder says Cox dune buggies were the best.
Oh, they were fun. I had one. They were great.
You got two Hyper Viper Cox. The new ones are asking $450. And, let's see. And he says, guys, the people are 3D printing them now.
Neat.
I'm not that smart. I can't figure that 3D print shit out.
Cox Dune Buggy was a lot of fun. I wore that thing out. See, what happens, unfortunately, is the plastic deteriorates to the point where it's no longer usable before the fun wears off.
You about done with that airplane, Sparky?
Yeah, it's pretty much finished. I'm just working on rubbing it out. All I got to do is glue the flaps and elevators on and wrap the lead outs, and it's ready to fly.
Beautiful.
Have you weighed it yet?
62 ounces, 61.95, so 62 ounces.
62.
Yeah.
It'll fly fine.
Well, I was going to add another quarter clear, but decided against it. I mean, it's fine as is. Got 2 quarts on it. That's a quart more than I normally use.
Good enough. Wow.
What's the power?
Brian Gardner Super Tiger 60.
Oh, that'll be great.
13.6 rev up, carbon tank, Randy Smith Venturi, and one of them Randy mufflers. Actually, the Henry Nelson muffler.
Marky, you need to take one of those really good airplanes of yours and you got to get about 500 flights and then go to the Nats. You'll do well.
Yeah. Our problem in the Midwest is crap weather.
Oh, I know all about it.
How does
Yeah,
Joe
not enough
Gilbert
good
do
weather.
in the Midwest?
I hear you.
Yeah, if it's not cold or raining or extremely hot, it's windy.
Yeah, blowing a hoolie. Exactly.
You might get
I hear
5
you.
6 days out of the year. Then you'll get about 20 okay days out of the year, and the rest are shit.
Yeah, that sucks.
And the perfect days don't happen until after the Nats is come and gone.
Right.
Yeah.
I used to have that problem here with Brodax. We'd go to Brodax every year and we'd probably have 3 or 4 flights on our planes before we got there. I remember one year it was snowing 2 weeks before we went to Brodax. It was ridiculous.
Doesn't Joe Gilbert live in the Midwest?
He lives
He lives
east.
in
Tulsa,
Oklahoma.
Oklahoma.
Oh, is he Oklahoma?
Yeah.
Tulsa.
So
Yeah, he
he doesn't
learned how
have
to.
any, there's no wind problems there. That's probably his advantage.
No, he
He's
has
got
lots
perfect
of
weather
wind. That's
all the
why he
time.
can fly well in the wind. Because he
That would
practices in the
suppose he goes
wind.
out and flies when it's windy, though, right?
That's right.
Not enjoyable.
No, hard on the nerves too.
Yeah.
You know, in my younger days, it seems like I was always test flying my stunt ship at the contest.
I hear you.
How did that work out?
Yeah.
Well, not as good as when I got older and had them down. Let's see, the first one I ever had prior with my Warburton Tony in 1971 in Buckeye, and I put 50 flights on 1 week, and I was flying it really well when I went to Buckeye.
So after 45 years, that airplane you're flying should be pretty well trimmed out, right? So no need to worry.
Well, it's kind of worn out because I didn't put aluminum plates back on them. I got brass plates on it now to raise the motor back up so it'll line up with the nose. You know, it was too high and some up thrust. I've been trying to figure out a good way to rejuvenate those mounts with maybe putting a plate on it with some tube sleeves so you don't get epoxy down in the
Blind
grooves
nuts, yeah.
and the blind nuts. But I turned around and gave it to Brent Williams, figuring he'd fly it. And, oh, it's too nice to fly. You know, had a full cockpit detail in it. I actually took second at a standoff scale with it up in Idaho. It really pissed a lot of people off. And it wasn't because it was that scale, it's because I could do all the maneuvers. So I had a real high score for flying, and you know, I had a scale paint job on it, but they couldn't get within 10 feet of the airplane, and yet I had documents and everything they can look at, but they can't measure how far off it is. You know, the wing was way off. But the next year I went up, somebody came and said, "Don't even bother entering your Tony." He said, "We had a big talk about that last year." And I entered anyway, and that year I took last place.
So they round burned you.
Yeah. You know, most of the scout ships are so heavy, they're lucky just to fly around and do their touch and goes.
Lucky if they fly at all, a lot of them.
Yeah.
We know.
My Tony was, I'm trying to think, I think it was 44 ounces. And he says, "Well, you got to do a touch and go." And I said, "I'll give you several." So I just went off in a nice stroke, and it stayed that way. And I'd run around on the wheels, you know, 2 or 3 laps at a time.
It's awesome.
Yeah, when I built
Keep
that,
the throttle.
you know, I was talking to the scale guys, Frank Beatty, and you know some of the others. They're building them airplanes to crash. They're like 8 and 10 pounds, and my shoestring is huge, and it only weighs 75 ounces. I mean,
Yeah,
that's
exactly.
pretty heavy,
Yeah.
but it's light in the scale sense.
Yeah, very light in the scale world.
Yeah, so it's 44 ounces.
Yeah,
That's awesome.
that's a smaller airplane than my shoestring.
Yeah, it's just slightly bigger than Old Blur with a an 1/8 inch thicker airfoil than an over.
You ever
So,
seen the Brodak shoestring in person?
What's that?
Have you ever seen the Brodak shoestring in person?
Not in person, I haven't.
It's got a fuselage on it that big around. It's got to
Up
be
there with
10
my
inches.
Tony.
Yeah, I
Huge.
saw it. I remember seeing it. It's huge.
I've seen yours. It's beautiful.
It's in
Yeah,
the
my Tony's for the canopy of the bottom of the scoop, something like 8 inches. And the fuselage is within 2% of actual scale.
Wow.
Is that the old Tony, old one you had?
No, are you talking about the Warburton or my design?
I'm talking. I remember I flew one of them. I don't know which one.
Oh, that would have been the 4-stroke, the first version of my Tony.
It wasn't the giant one. It was long ago.
It was 743 squares.
No, smaller than that.
Oh, well, it was smaller. It'd have to be the Warburton. It was only like 560 or something, 570.
I recall flying that years ago.
Yeah, probably had it. Yeah, I had it on too long of lines and didn't figure that out until after I come back home.
Hey, Gordon, last summer you gave me this little aluminum clip to go on the horn.
Oh, yeah.
So
the
I took
slider.
it, yeah, on the slider on the horn.
Okay.
So I cut it in half and put it on the horn. And I looked at it and I said, of every fastener on that airplane, which one do I crank down the hardest on? It's this one. And I said, those are aluminum threads. So I took it and modified it and put a steel blind nut in there.
Oh, I see.
So I thought you'd like to see that.
Yeah, we never had one. Well, the ones that you had was a bunch that Brent Williams was making. And the ones I originally made and the one that Roger Kramer makes is out of steel.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you can smoke tight those down tight without worrying about them stripping.
Yep, steel would be nice, be a little heavier. So this is the best of both worlds, really. Steel threads and aluminum fitting. So
yeah,
I'm pretty happy with that. So that'll go in the next world beater.
The one thing nice about it, it'll never separate.
Yep.
The way it goes around the outside.
Yeah, no, it's a very clever idea you had. I'm going to use that forever now.
Yeah, I believe the idea came from Roger Kramer originally.
Really?
I can't remember.
Yeah. Well, it all emanated from Jim Aaron's disaster at the Nats.
Yes, exactly. So maybe it was my idea, but he jumped on the idea.
Yeah, it's a good idea. So thank you.
You bet.
I also had to, it's hard to see in the camera, but I ground a chamfer on the top so it would slide into that dog leg.
Yes.
Cool.
Yeah, there's times I wish I could get mine up higher.
Right. So, because that's, for me, that's where they always end up anyhow.
So what you need is a horn where the push rod is at least 1.25 inches. And then that doesn't need to go up any higher.
The flap horn, you mean?
Yeah. You know, most of my flap horns are 1 3/8 to 1.5 inches tall.
Yeah. I always end up taking out as much flap as I can. Always seems to be where I end up.
Yeah, mine's got a lot of leverage, but not a whole lot of flat.
No. So thank you much.
Oh, you're welcome. Glad you make it work.
Hey, Lynn. John here. John Caritas.
How you doing?
Yeah, good. Has anybody heard anything about Bob Whitley yet? Still can't see him. No.
What was wrong with him?
Not heard anything.
Very quiet.
Surgery.
I got a letter from him, but that's all.
How long ago was that, Gary?
I don't know, a couple weeks ago, I think.
Oh, okay. Oh, because I was getting quite worried. I hadn't seen him since his operation. Well,
Actually,
no, I think he was in hospital, but he hadn't had his heart done at that stage. I was just wondering, if
I
everything
think
was
he had it
okay.
done. Yeah.
Was he doing all right at that stage?
I
Gary?
think so. He's had his operation back home.
I thought we'd see him on here.
Oh, that's good. Okay.
What kind of surgery did he have?
He had open heart surgery.
Open heart.
Oh,
Yeah.
well,
I can't remember.
You guys been doing much flying over there? I hear you got sort of all sorts of wonky weather going on. Hot as hell in the south and cold as hell in the north. And
we had 4 inches of snow a couple days ago.
yeah. Weird,
Yeah.
eh?
What's that?
Weird. Strange weather.
Yeah.
That's normal for us.
Guys, I want to make an announcement before I turn this over to Real Steve. We ended up with 84% want to bring the Friday night meeting back on this. So coming this Friday, there'll be another meeting. We'll start that again. I gained my subscribers back, so I'm good to go on that.
Good news.
Let's see here.
Hi,
Analytics.
Mark.
I see you.
We lost a subscriber on this meeting, but I've gained, I'm plus 17. So I don't know what people expect out of these meetings.
So Robert, could you do something that would be helpful to me, other people too, on your posting on Stunt Hangar, where the link is?
Yes.
State what time it starts.
It's always 7 o'clock.
State it. Please state it so people know. I didn't know.
Always.
I didn't either.
7 o'clock Central Time, always.
That's a good idea.
6 o'clock our time.
Okay.
Yeah.
All righty.
Yeah, you can never tell, Sparky. Sometimes the conversation's sort of, it sort of gathers like a snowball, but sometimes there's probably not a lot to say. Like, I don't have a lot of news, haven't done a lot of flying, don't really have any questions at the moment. Pretty warm here, been blowy. Last couple of days it's been blowing like hell, and I just did a bit of flying out of my chair, but I didn't try any aerobatics at all. I just went around and around. It was a hell of a battle just to keep the airplane in the air because it was blowing at about 33 k's an hour or something. But I was having a ball anyway, just sitting there in the chair going around trying to keep the thing in the air.
At the rate you're using Arco, it'll last another 100 years.
Yeah. Yeah. But I haven't flown my Hurricane myself yet. That's ready to go though. Tuned that up, trimmed that up, ready to go again. So
You else fly it?
hey?
You have someone else fly it?
I'll get get Gerald or Carl, his brother, to fly it first. Somebody else to fly it first, and then I'll have a crack at it.
You haven't,
Apparently, it pulls out. It pulls like a mule, so that's might pull me out of the bloody chair.
have not flown it yet?
I haven't flown it myself, no, but it's been in the air about 6 or 8 times now.
Okay, has it been upside down?
Not yet.
Okay.
Not
Yep.
yet.
That Merco should run exactly like a Super Tiger 60.
Yeah. It's running good. It's running good.
Or just an ounce heavier.
Yeah, though the model's still 60, well, probably under 60 ounces now. Probably gassed off a bit. I'll put it on the scales, actually. I've got to get it out shortly and just check it over. So that'll be interesting. My Spitfire lost about 3 ounces over a year. So this thing's a bit bigger and a lot more dope went on it. So it might be 3 or 4 or 5 ounces lighter. Who knows? I'll give it a weigh later.
I don't ever lose that much. I only lose maybe, a couple of grams.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Because we're upside down, Sparky, our dope down here is heavier.
Hey, Sparky,
Yeah.
why don't you hold that airplane up? Let's take a peek at it.
Okay, let me zoom out.
Yeah, I was on here late.
I'm gonna have to stand back.
Oh, there, now you're big.
Okay, hold on.
Not here.
Spotlight for everyone.
There we go.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
I gotta move the camera back. And I don't have much room to move it back.
Perfect. Oh yeah,
No,
that's beautiful. Outstanding.
very nice.
Yeah.
Very sharp.
It ended up 62 ounces.
Nothing wrong with that.
Oh man, that really looks good.
Look at those wheel
Yeah.
pans,
Yeah, beautiful.
Yeah.
those
Sharp.
those gear doors. Oh man,
They're neat. Yeah.
Yeah. That looks great.
Yeah, it's really well
Very
done.
cool.
Thank you.
Nice.
Yeah.
Very nice.
See how it does at the Nats. If I bring it, flies good, I'll bring it.
does anyone else hear the ghost screaming in the background?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
I hear it.
probably wind.
I don't know. It's really weird.
That's very nice, Sparky.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's beautiful.
Outstanding.
I like the birds.
Yeah. Birds.
3 months work.
That's
Yeah.
amazing. 12 weeks. That's outstanding.
Yeah.
When
You
do you
know, if
hope
you-
to test?
Yeah.
When do you hope to
If you-
test flyer?
When I get to it,
Yeah.
Maybe
You like-
April. Maybe April.
yeah.
Yeah.
What were you going to say, Gordon?
Says I can build one in a month, but then it takes me 2 months to paint it.
That's about right.
You know, you want a nice airplane, it takes me longer to prep it and get it ready for paint than it does to build it.
Yeah.
Then there's a month of sanding after it's painted.
Yeah.
Usually
Yeah.
takes me 3 months. Usually takes me 3 months to think about it before I even start it.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
get it, Jonathan.
And that's what I'm working on now is the after sanding with the the 1500 to 5000 grit.
Stuart, you finished the Cardinal?
Not yet. Not yet.
You said it was going to be done in 2 weeks.
I know. Well, hockey took priority.
Oh, come on. Don't give me excuses.
Had to watch the hockey game again today, and Canada's going to the finals against the U.S. So
You guys are gonna lose, so don't worry about it.
we'll see.
Of course,
You-
you are
you-
our 51st state, right, Len?
What's
Oh,
that?
don't go there.
You are gonna be our 51st state.
Oh,
Stuart, are you building a Cardinal?
Yeah.
And I told them
Yeah.
the rumor is they're going to be the 11th province.
Stuart,
Is
are
that
you building the
from
Cardinal? Oh, sorry.
from plans or kit? The
Oh,
card
Scratch.
scratch. Oh,
Scratch,
nice.
right?
That noise.
Stuart, is your
I
Cardinal
don't
from
know. It's
plans or is
weird.
it scratch?
It's like
Oh,
ghosts in the
I don't
background.
Len's got to tell you the history of the wing.
I had the
Oh,
wing in a
okay.
stunter about 15 years ago, and I gave Stuart the wing. And so
Oh,
he's turned it into a profile Cardinal.
Ah.
He,
Well, you better hurry up, boys, because the way the Pope's going, we might need a Cardinal.
Len crashed it a few times, and each time it didn't ruin the ring; it just broke in the middle. So he
Yeah,
had
every time. See, what it was is it was a Magnum wing. It was a Sig Magnum wing originally, and it got crashed at least 3 times over its lifetime. And every time it crashed, we would lose an inch of the center section on both sides. So now it's down to 56 inches, and Stuart has the wing.
oh my.
did the fuselage and they put the rudder on, and then we took the yellow Cardinal he gave me that I crashed at the competition a year or so ago. I kept the tail from it, the elevator and stab, so it went into it. And so
A bunch of parts and pieces from different places.
yeah,
Frankenplane.
It's a Frankenplane, yes.
Yeah.
Should fly decent though. I made a Frankenplane myself this week. I had one
Oh.
of Sam Lonke's old crashes that crashed at the 2000, I believe, 15 Brodax, and they threw it in the garbage, and I took the wing out of the garbage and brought it home. It's been
Oh.
sitting in my cupboard for at least 8 or 9 years, and I've tried to get rid of it at swap meets. I've tried to give it away. I even tried to give it to Stuart, and he didn't want the wing. So I pulled it out of the cupboard again this week, and I said to myself, look it, either I got to build something with this wing or I'm throwing it in the garbage. And I can't bring myself to throw a perfectly decent wing in the garbage. So I built an airplane out of it. So I turned what was I don't know if you've ever heard of a stunt bot, which is basically a really plain basic trainer airplane. And I turned it into a Messerschmitt.
let's see it.
Oh, good.
I'll bring it up. Hang on.
I think someone's watching from a submarine.
Yeah, I don't know. It's a weird
Yeah.
siren or something in the background.
I've been watching some of your programs about Sasquatch.
Hold on a
Expedition.
second, guys. I'm gonna try to end this on YouTube. You don't
Okay.
you don't have to go. We have an after party after the YouTube ends, but you have to be logged into Stunt Hangar to get there and go to At the Bench and get on that.
Oh yeah.
I'm gonna turn this over to Steve, the real Steve Smith Jr. He'll be your host. So I appreciate you watching on YouTube. Fair wind. Oh, by the way, the poll ended up with 83% yes, 11% no, and 3% something different. So Friday night hangouts will be back starting next week.
All right.
We'll see you again. Fair winds.
See
Thank
Oh, yeah.
Thanks, Mark.
I gotta
See
go.
ya.
Time for dinner.
Yeah.
Oh.
Hi, Jim.
Have a
Take
good
care,
week.
Jim.
Okay.
You too.